heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha, would like to thank all of you for subscribing to both my channels, the YouTube and the Spotify. If you haven't subscribed to Spotify, please do so that you can listen to all the videos anytime, any place at one go. Today, we're going to talk about a pivotal uh, house today, as we have been continuing in our series of trying to see what the lord of a particular house placed in any other house has to give us, to say to us. So this is in continuum with that, the seventh house, which is a very important house for us in many respects. Not that any other houses are less, but the seventh house creates a balance in our life, or for that matter, the seventh house from any other house creates a balance in that uh, house, or for that house. So the seventh lord is the house which the seventh lord, wherever it sits, that tells us in life where we need to create a balance, where we need to have a proper balance. The seventh house is, as we talk about the seventh house, the first thing that we all want to know, or what the first thing that hits us, is the partners. The seventh house talks about our business partners as well as our personal or professional partners of life. Let's not forget that the seventh house is the 10th from the 10th house. So it talks about our home, our work ethics also. Being the fourth from the fourth house, it also talks about mother-like people, our grandparents, grandmothers, especially in our life. And it talks about the kind of atmosphere that we have at home. The seventh house talks to us about the life path. As per Uttar Kalamrita, the seventh house represents the path, the direction that one is likely to take. So when we look at the placement of the seventh lord, and especially if it happens to be sun, or for that matter, the planet, wherever it is placed in whichever nakshatra, because nakshatra gives a very pinpoint answer to it. So wherever it is placed would tell us about the path in life that we're likely to take. When we talk about the partners, wherever the seventh lord goes and sits, and if it is aspected also, so it will tell us the type of partners in life that we are seeking, we are planning to make, or we attract and are likely to make such partners in life. The seventh house is the first house that falls within the visible half. Well, the Kundali is divided into two halves for us, the invisible half and the visible half. The signs which are the signs that fall in the first six houses for us would become the invisible half for us. That is, the personal content can be seen from those houses, whereas our performance on a public level can be seen from the 7th to the 12th houses. So that's the first, being the first house of the visible half. It also shows that kind of cooperation on a public level that we are likely to get. The 7th house talks about open adversaries. The 12th house talks about as well adversaries that we can see from our past lives. The 6th house talks about people who would be talking behind our backs, who would be unknown enemies or hidden enemies. They do not come out in the open. People, generally, it's a very beautiful thing that we consider the first person that we consider in an opposition are our spouse, and we always tell them that you talk to me as if you are my enemy. So that concept, if you can remember here, will work for us. So wherever the 7th lord goes and sits, it can also show you the kind of people that we have in our life, or the kind of adversaries that we can make in our life. The balance of life, because as I told you earlier, the 7th house is the first house of the visible half, and the 7th sign of the natural zodiac is Libra, and it denotes a balance. So wherever the 7th lord goes and sits, it talks about the balance one can have in their life. Again, 7th house is the house of partners. So they are the kind of interactive houses that you would be finding. And finally, the 7th house is all about diplomacy. We cannot be as candid, we cannot be as profound, we can be profound, but we cannot be very candid or frank with everybody and anybody. And the sign of Libra tells us that we should be able to weigh the pros and cons very carefully before we make a judgment. So this shows that one needs to think, one needs to have diplomacy. The seventh house essentially is an airy element, which gives us a thinking power and a power to ponder on the matter before we give a final judgment. So let us see what happens if the Lord of the seventh house goes and sits in various houses. When the Lord of the seventh house goes and sits in the Lagna, it could mean that your partnerships are very important in life. It could also mean that you are your best partner, because the kind of people you associate with would be people who are like-minded, like you. It could give you a very strong need to find your life path, or that there is a certain direction, because it's an invisible half of your kundali, and seventh lord going and sitting there. It could also take you towards spirituality inwardly. It means that the balance that we're searching for needs to come from within, and we need to be focused on how to improve ourselves. The person would also be paying a lot of attention, because the first house talks about the most important people in your life. So the person could be paying a lot of attention to his or her spouse, and to his or her colleagues, or rather the partners in life. It also means that you are going to be a very work conscious person. Why so? Because the seventh house, as I told you, is the 10th from 10th. It talks about work. It talks about your karma more than work. So you could be a person who could be very interested in moving towards that karma. Depending on the sign that your seventh house is, depending on the lord of that house, it can tell you what kind of karma you would be leading towards. When we come to the second house talks, when the seventh lord is present in the second house, the second house denotes our education, it denotes our wealth, and it denotes our traditions. Traditionally, it could also mean that the person would be in public also known to uphold the principles of the family, would be earning wealth or making partners in family. We see many a times that people end up in partnerships, in HUFs with their own family members. So that is a possibility, that when you're working, you can be making partners with your own family members. However, if we take into account this fact that this seventh lord is 8 houses away from its own self, it could mean that these partnerships could be karmic, and it also could mean they're subject to certain very strong reactions. When we talk about, the good thing is that you could be interested a lot in education, or that kind of education, or very practical education that can give you a good platform. It could also show that your spouse could be from a very from a family where the ethics are very strong, or your spouse could be taking in the values of your family quite easily. When we talk about the seventh lord in the third house, in such a case, this is a very good position for the seventh lord, because the seventh lord then becomes a friend to you. The seventh lord also in the third house shows a lot of communication and cooperation from the spouse. The third house is the house of thinking and creativity. So the spouse can be a creative person, or the spouse can induce certain thoughts within you that can lead you to become a very creative person. Again, that is subject to the kind of creativity that one would be doing. If it's Venus, then it could mean the person could induce you into earning, can give you different ideas about earning money. And supposing it is Jupiter, then it can tell you can then such a person can give you good suggestions about leading a content life, or again it can tell you about the kind of investments you need to make, so that on a long-term basis you are happy and healthy. When the when the seventh lord happens to be Mars and is sitting in the third house, they can be the spouse can be prone to a little bit of anger, or can be prone to harsh or rash actions. But the spouse could also be an intelligent person, could know how to strategize activities, could know how to draw in things, and would have the dare that is needed to move ahead in life. So depending on the planet, again, if the nakshatra would pinpoint things out more clearly. As we move into the placement of the seventh lord in the fourth house, the seventh lord in the fourth house makes a person happy because it's your karma sthana through your home. So it says very clearly that your activities in life would be more towards securing the home and the hearth. It could also mean that one would need to follow the path as guided by your parent, specifically mother. It could also mean that you would want to follow in her footsteps to come up in the world. When your seventh lord is in the 10th house, fourth house, it means that you find cooperation in life from your family members, and especially your mother is one of your biggest cheerleaders, or other mother figures in the family or women figures in the family are your cheerleaders. It could also mean, depending on the planet again, because in the fourth house, Jupiter gets exalted, Mars gets debilitated, Venus and Moon get digbali. So depending on the planet that is sitting there, we can have a lot of combinations and permutations. So if it's Mars, which is sitting there in the fourth house, being the seventh lord, it could mean that the person could be very strong about the family matters, and it could also mean that the person would be for the person, it would be very important to secure a good home or a good piece of land for home. It could also mean that the person would be strict, would like to follow certain routine and regime about home. When we talk about the seventh lord moving in the fifth house, the fifth house is the house of gain for the spouse. So when the seventh lord is in the fifth house, it gives a lot of gain to the spouse. It also gives a lasting relation, but there is a disclaimer, and I would like to say that it is well and truly applicable. When the seventh lord is in the fifth house, you need to be careful after having the first baby. There are chances that there can be disruption in your married life. When the seventh lord is in the fifth house, it could also mean that your ability to stand, to get acknowledgement by others is very great, because the fifth house also shows celebrityhood or your ability to have great government connections. The seventh house is also your place where you are finding recognition outside of home. So there is a great chance that you find a lot of recognition outside of home, or your spouse earns a lot of money, or you have children who are very your younger child, the second child could be more important for you than your first child. When the seventh lord is in the sixth house, that's the house is described as Sahapatni in Paldipika. So that could mean that there could be another person in your spouse's life. Let's not take it very literally. In today's day and time, many of times the person does have a relationship before marriage, so that should be an excusable fact, and it up to a judgment from person to person. But it does show an indication in that direction. When the seventh lord is in the sixth house, you could be very good friends with your co-workers, because it shows the kind of people you would be interacting with. And it could also mean that you are on a very good level with them. When we talk about Venus, Venus gets debilitated in the sixth house of the natural zodiac. It could mean you could make great friends with the people working in your home, and you could get a lot of good work done out of them. So the sixth house is always not supposed to be bad in association with the seventh lord. It could also mean that you are a hardworking person and you like to keep your personal life personal, and even your married life, or your, because it moves into the last house of the invisible house. So all those things could be a possibility, again depending on Jupiter, because Jupiter would say that we have made a video on Jupiter in the sixth house. So do watch that and you will understand that Jupiter in its placement in the sixth house has a lot of beautiful connections. So this ways, if Sun is in the sixth house, yes, it shows a lot of separative influence, or you could be a dominant personality when you're talking to your co-workers and you do interact with them a lot. Similarly, when Moon is in the sixth house, Moon in the sixth house gives one a lot of mental trouble. Obstructions in life could happen, and that could give you a lot of trouble. As the seventh lord sitting in the sixth house, you can find impediment on a social scale. It could mean that you are a very private person and you feel uncomfortable in a public arena. Coming to the seventh lord in the seventh house, any lord sitting in its own house is a good place to be. You're comfortable with your spouse, you're comfortable with the surroundings, you're a balanced person. You know how to handle things. You also know how to handle your adversaries. You could be at time your own adversary, especially if Mars happens to be that lord, or for that matter, Saturn happens to be that lord, because that could relate to certain amount of disagreement between your spouse and you, or um, your your partners and you, and so that could lead to certain amount of problems. So that is the area where you should be able to handle things very carefully. When we talk about the seventh lord in the eighth house, the eighth house is the house of longevity of marriage. The eighth house is the house of scandals and limitations or sudden happenings. Your marriage could happen suddenly. Problems in your marriage could also generate suddenly. Your husband or wife could be working in an area where the income is not very stable, or the income is very um, momentary. So all these things can be taken into account. It does not always mean that the person will undergo a divorce, because we have to take into account the Deshkal Patra. Or as a senior astrologer, Chandrasekhar Sharma ji keeps reminding us of the Sanskrit phrase Kal Sapeksh. That means that time is changing, and with that we take a lot of fundamental changes in everything around us. When we move on to the ninth law, when we move on to the seventh lord in the ninth house, seventh lord in the ninth house talks about the person's again, it's the person, it's the third house from the seventh house, and it talks about the relationship of the marriage. There could be a marriage which could have a very strong legal binding, but there may not be any love or affection in that, especially if sun is the seventh lord in the third from itself, or in the ninth house. So there can be a lot of bindings, there can be a lot of legal or social obligations that one needs to fulfill in their marriage, but may not have a lot of loving partnership that one is looking forward for. Or seventh lord in the ninth house could also indicate that the spouse could be quite brainy, spouse could be quite daring. Your spouse's younger brother could be a very well read person. All these things can be taken into account. If Jupiter as the seventh lord is sitting in the ninth house, it denotes that the person would definitely like to be of a studious type. It could also mean that the person would be thinking a lot before making any commitment or giving any answer. It could also mean, again, we need to take the nakshatra that is into account, but apart from that, it could also mean that the person is basically a very jovial person, a person fond of laughing, fond of creating, and a content one at heart. When we talk about the seventh lord in the 10th house, so the seventh lord is in the 10th house, is very strong connect because it's in the fourth from itself, which means this is where the spouse would find his or her own happiness. So the comfort zone of your spouse could be your that you are working and you're being industrious about the house. The spouse could be comfortable in with your mother-in-law could be holding a big place in your life or in your married life. Again, the seventh lord in the fourth house, because it talks about fourth from itself in the 10th house. So it could mean that the person you're married to could find a lot of happiness just being at home. That's your sense, his sense of security. Whereas you could be finding happiness in a public arena, in a high government official position, or for that matter, when you're doing your work. So these things can be seen. Okay, so who's your open adversary can also come out from there. It talks about diplomacy. The seventh house talks about diplomacy. When the seventh lord is present in the 10th house, it is advisable if we apply diplomacy in our relationships at work and in our relationship with our in-laws. When the seventh lord is in the 11th house, in such a case, again, it's a trine connection, and all trine connections, as per Vedic astrology, are beautiful. So, when the seventh lord is in the 11th house, it's in the fifth room itself. It gives you a spouse who can introduce to a big circle of friends, a spouse who could be working in an MNC. It could give you a spouse who is who is open to a lot of thought process, or rather who could be very much into discovering new things, understanding new things, and can be a go-getter at that. If it's sun, then definitely the person would want to go out and experience a lot of new things. Jupiter, which is the Karaka of the 11th house, if it is placed in as the seventh lord in the 11th house, then it will give you a lot of things in plenty. Anything that you wish to gain on a public platform is easily available for you, because the 11th house is the house of fulfillment of wishes. But wherever Jupiter sits, it expands. 11th house also talks about our greed. Are we really interested in expanding our greed? This is something that we need to ask when Jupiter is sitting in our 11th house as the seventh lord. Now, when moon is our seventh lord and it is sitting in the 11th house for us, we may say that it is debilitated for us. But that is a place where we find that we are dedicated to a lot of causes, the cause of thinking, the cause of being, of discovering new things, the cause of creating, because when we do not discriminate, when we do not allow other thoughts to overpower us, we allow friendships to blossom. So we can be a people's people, and we can allow a lot of friendships to come into our lives. Again, moon is a tendency of hoarding. Moon gets exalted in the second house of the natural zodiac. So moon has a tendency of hoarding. If we do not allow that hoarding to take place in life, this moon gives us youth circle, and moon represents the masses. The 11th house talks about our ability to converse with greater groups. So here this moon as a seventh lord can give us an ability to talk to masses and become the leader of the masses, because in the 11th house uh, uh, of for the 11th house, in such a case where moon is the seventh lord, there is the Jeshta nakshatra, the king of this universe. Finally, when we come to the case of seventh lord in the 12th house, seventh lord in the 12th house, is it good? It's beautiful, because then a person would be spending a lot on their spouse, but it could also mean that you're spending a lot for as a show off. It could also mean that there's certain unnecessary expenses happening your way. And when Jupiter as the seventh lord is in the 12th house, it shows an excessive of expenditure without thought, but these expenditures could be for a good cause. However, when we have that Mars or Saturn as a seventh lord sitting in the 12th house, it could show separation for spouse or viraktata, that is a movement away from spouse. So just a look as to in a few charts, couple of charts, and see how their seventh lord is placed and how it pans out in their life. For Arthur Conan Doyle, we see that the seventh lord is placed in the Lagna. His discovery was all about, or rather his journey in life, because it's sitting with Sun. Sun also talks to us about journey in life. So his journey in life was all about discovering himself. Mars is a very strong planet for him because it's sitting in the Mrigashira Nakshatra itself. It talks, the search for him was the need to find out who he really was. When we talk about Paulo Coelho, again, it's the same Lagna, but the place of the seventh lord changes. The second house is the house of your principles. The second house is the house of your your family values and traditions, and it is also about your family. Mars being a fighter planet, a warrior planet, he ended up having a lot of differences with his family members, and as a planet of, as a house sitting in the house of principles, he rebelled against his parents for his own principles and his own thought process. So we can see that the family, again, had it been any other planet, like for Jupiter, that would have gone along with the family values. But Mars, as the seventh lord, which is opposition, he faced a lot of opposition from the family members. For George Clooney with Sun, the seventh lord exalted in the third house, again, we, as I told you earlier, it's the trine. And when seventh lord is getting exalted, we know he's an extremely creative person. He's extremely generous with his friends. All those things are there that we can find in the media. And it is with the fifth lord, which again is very strong in terms of creativity. So as a person, he's very creative. As his wife is also a lawyer, which also denotes that when the seventh lord goes in third house, it gives your spouse an ability to speak, to have a platform on which you can give a very strong place. Let's not forget that when the seventh lord moves into third house, it's the ninth house for the spouse, which is again the place of jurisprudence. And so we see that here for Julia Child, the seventh lord goes into the fourth house, again a place of a very strong place of public arena, and she made it great there. When the seventh lord goes in the fifth house, it talks about being a very creative person, as we said. And Mercury there with an exalted sun, which is the ninth lord, gave him a huge advantage in that person, and the ability to learn things up, because the fifth house is all about learning. The fifth house is all about celebrityhood, and the fifth house is all about being compassionate, high on divinity. All that, as Mercury is a planet, gave him money, gave him name, gave him compassion, and an ability to learn as fast as possible. As we move towards Catherine Zeta Zones, in her chart, we see that the seventh lord has moved into the 11th, in the 10th house. We know that her spouse also comes from her industry, is the Venus, which moves in the 10th house, gives her a name and fame and recognition, and her spouse also as being very beautiful people. And we also know the kind of people, because we were talking about the kind of people we would want to associate with, because that's the seventh house, talking about personal and professional partnerships. And the balance, where are we going to find a balance? She would find a balance in her work. And all these things can be seen with that Venus, the planet of beauty, the planet of skill, the planet of creativity, sitting right there in her 10th house. Louis Vuitton, for Louis Vuitton, the seventh lord Jupiter is sitting with Saturn, a planet again of creativity, the ninth lord in the 11th house. Years after Louis Vuitton is no more, we can say more than a century, his name still stands tall. He found a recognition. He was the one who invented how to, he was supposed to be the suitcase maker or the bag maker, and till today his name shines in the public arena. And he has been able to be a very creative person. Larry King, the seventh lord, is in the 12th house. So there was separations in his life with his spouse, many spouses, and creating a lot of losses, not only of face, not only humiliation, but a lot of financial losses in life. So we see that this placement of seventh lord is also very strong. If we take a few nakshatras also, we can take the nakshatra of for Catherine Zeta Zones. For Catherine Zeta Zones, Venus is placed in Magha Nakshatra, which would mean she would always want to marry a high profile person. And not only does a spouse come from a high profile, is a high profile person, but her in-laws too belong to that strata, and she moves in the kind of work that she does is also very of that caliber. If we take the case of Yehudi Menon, so in his case, Mercury is in Bharani Nakshatra, a nakshatra that also teaches us about divinity, the nakshatra that gives one a lot of knowledge, and nakshatra that finally brings in a lot of conversion in a person. And all that things, as far as Mercury is concerned, the more he learned, the more he rose up in life, the more humble he began to be, and the more soft was his approach to everything. He's known for that. Even his son, being the ninth lord in Ashwini Nakshatra, gave him an ability for quick thinking and learning. So we see that all these nakshatras also play a very strong role in defining your placement of your seventh lord. I have also made a video on where the seventh lord is placed and which nakshatra and what kind of a spouse you're likely to get or what kind of lifestyle you are likely to have. So if you're interested, please do visit that video also. Till we meet with you again, stay
Please
safe.
hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.